the new international super middleweight champion, Gent.
I've been knocking on the doors before. I've nearly been there before, and I've lost on like a cut eye and things like that. And it's really sort of this has really given me a boost. The determination to sort of get from having nothing to coming in and having all what I've been waiting for 17 years to be able to go and buy houses and have a few quid. That's what really drives me on, really spurs me.
Chris Eubank's waiting for Nigel Benn in October. If Gent upsets the champion tonight, he'll be in line for a nice few quid. Defeat for Benn would cost him the million he's guaranteed for the Eubank rematch. Benn's had his problems domestically and in training with a shoulder injury. Defeat by Gent would be a huge blow.
Gent, yeah. Well, Mario Galvano, Nicky Piper could have blew it all. I know for a fact, because I lost to what's the name, Eubank, because I took him like, and I'm not taking Gent like this. Is the biggest fight of his life, to turn up and make bundles of money to get his call for it, what he's always wanted. And it's things I want out in life as well. I want a lot of things out of life, and I ain't going to blow my chance now.
But Benn can be wobbled. Look what Mauro Galvano did to him in the closing seconds of his last fight. Before that, though, the Italian had been totally negative. We're in for something much more dramatic tonight.
I expect a good solid performance from the pair of us. We're going to have a war. I mean, I'm going to have a fight with Nigel Benn. It's going to be a good fight.
Well, he's got 12 rounds to prove my chin is suspect, and I've got 12 rounds to prove to him that talk is cheap. And that is my intentions. But I'm looking at having a war with him. I'm looking at him from round one. He ain't got to look for me, I ain't got to look for him. So, that's what you're going to see. Fireworks, plenty of them.
Now, some very good judges here feel there could be an upset after all those fireworks, and some of Gent supporters have backed their sentiments with hard cash. I have to go for Nigel Benn. Mind you, his mood could well decide the fight. This is what Gent is going to be facing very shortly.
If the weak hearts out there, or the guys with soft stomachs or whatever, switch over and watch another channel for PG rated, because tonight it's X certificate. So if you want to have a good time, get your beer now, because when I come back, it's going to be action. Oh yeah.
And welcome back to Olympia. The chimes announce the arrival of Nigel Benn. Gent already in the ring, and goodness me, he got a fantastic reception, Gent, from this sizable crowd here at Olympia, and a lot of confidence in that corner. Nigel Benn ready to rumble. Just underneath the limit, first time at the weigh-in last night, and it took Gent 3 goes to make 12 stone, but I would think by now Gent will be tipping 12 and a half, and that natural weight advantage that he has, well, that's one of the reasons why people feel Gent could upset this man. But what an exciting fighter this guy is, Nigel Benn. We've seen him in really massively exciting fights in Atlantic City against Doug DeWitt. Remember going to Rome when he won this title against the Italian Mauro Galvano in Italy. A great night. He's been training though, and that training has been interrupted by his shoulder injury, and I just wonder if he is absolutely focused on this fight. Of course, with the Eubank, big money around the corner. It's always a very dangerous game, this, to make plans in advance. But Nigel Benn really has been in with an altogether different class of fighter than Gent. Benn, the WBC super middleweight champion. Peter De Freitas, his personal manager, at the front, and behind him Jimmy Tibbs, who really has got this man in great shape for his last 2 or 3 fights. And well, my guess is is that Nigel Benn has fewer supporters here than the challenger. That won't worry him. Your big fight commentators, as always, will be Jim Watt and Reg Guttridge. First of all, here's your MC, Alan Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the big fight live on ITV, promoted by Barry Hearn on behalf of Matchroom Boxing and sponsored by the Daily and Sunday Mirror newspapers. Your matchmaker, Frank Turner of London. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a super middleweight contest at 12 stone over 12 rounds each of 3 minutes duration for the WBC Super Middleweight Championship of the world. Your WBC supervisors, Ray Clark of London and Marino Mauricio of Dallas. Your judges are Mickey Van of Leeds, Billy Rafferty of Scotland and Adrian Morgan of Wales. Your timekeeper, Tommy Rice of London, and your referee for the contest, Larry O'Connell. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting and introducing in the red corner with the maroon shorts, with 22 wins and 2 draws from 32 contests, 11 inside the distance from Streatham in South London, the reigning WBC International Super Middleweight Champion, Super Lethal Gent. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent in the blue corner with the black shorts, with 36 wins from 38 contests, 31 inside the distance from West Ham in East London, the reigning WBC Super Middleweight Champion of the world, Nigel the Dark Destroyer Benn. Ladies and gentlemen, at the weigh-in today, new Gent scale, 11 stone, 13 pound, 14 ounces. Nigel Benn, 11 stone, 13 exactly. I thank you.
Well, welcome to your ringside seat here. It's choking excitement now with this all London battle, South versus East End, and they'll both be firing from the hip. But I must say to both of them, there hasn't been any known animosity, none of the usual hype really. Just, well, a couple of good old seasoned pros in their way, and certainly Ben said when Gent said to him, well, you won't have to go looking for me, mate. He said, thanks a lot. He put his arm on his shoulder, said, thanks a lot. And that's Jim Rodenthal was saying. It all depends, I think, a lot on Nigel Benn's mood. Bit of domestic problems. Carry that into the ring sometimes. He's trained in Tenerife, and Lou Gent has been away in Lanzarote. So I don't know what happened to the old Spartan training camp where they shot trees and ate rusty nails. Well, it's scheduled for 12, but I would have thought very unlikely to go. Heavy odds on, of course, Ben, as you would expect him to be. But Lou Gent's dad has actually sold a very expensive car and backed his son to win in any of the 12 rounds. And if he manages to stop Ben, he can't lose. It takes a bit of doing, doesn't it, to get rid of your favourite motor. Referee then Larry O'Connell, also from South London, originally. And 3 British judges if it goes the limit. So of course Gent obviously is back in the fact that last punch that Ben took with Galvano was just incredible, and I mean he was really gone and was trying to follow on after the bell without realising the bell had gone. All the Gent family behind us here, Beyonce, Mum, Dad, the lot, and they're really excited, wearing the t-shirts. As Ben pointed out, it's Gent's big night. This is the night he's going to give all. And he's never found wanting. Yes, he's lost 8 fights and drawn a couple. He's also won 22. But it's only the first time, I think, that he's really got himself into shape for this. And he says he has, and I believe him. Well, Jim, it was quite right. They were never having to go look for each other, were they? They were always going to be just a foot away.
No, and the type of opponents that have always given Ben problems throughout his career have been the slick movers, the smart boxers. Lou Gent doesn't come from that school. But I think the big problem for Ben may be the size of Gent. I mean, Gent must be closer to 13 stone now than he is 12. And if he makes that strength count, especially on the later rounds, Ben could have some problems.
Yeah, weighing in the night before like that, they put on quite considerable weight. That's the WBC rules. It's to stop dehydration on the day of a fight with boxers, brought in by the medical panels.
I feel that's a harsh rule for the people who are boxing at the proper way out. That one seemed to land in Ben's forehead there. See, I think it's Gent's strength and determination that's going to give Ben the problems. And Ben hasn't been toppling the super middleweights the same way he did the middles.
And it's not going to be a one-round job going for Ben. He had, believe it or not, had 13 in the first round, would you believe, and 18 in the second. So we come up then to the end of the first. Second, and certainly not much in it there. I wouldn't be surprised if Gent didn't steal that opening round, Jim. I don't know, doesn't matter at this stage.
Fairly even, but I think it was noticeable that Gent was the tighter of the two, tighter defence, thinking what he's doing. Ben was a little bit reckless, took a few chances. He took a full-blooded right hand in the forehead, which I think shook him up slightly. But as usual, I mean, that's what makes Ben so exciting. He just goes in and gets on about his business. But I think he wants to take a little bit more care.
Almost on red alert here, aren't we? I just don't know what's going to happen when we've got a couple of bangers like this at the 12 stone division, 76 kilos. As the fight goes along, I was assuming that one punch doesn't change it all. And we've got the unofficial scoring of the retired top-class referee Harry Gibbs to give you an idea of what he thinks. And as I say, you also have Adrian Morgan from Wales, Mickey Vann from Leeds, and Billy Rafferty from Scotland as the judges. The majority of Gent's losses have actually been at heavier weights. He's been up to well over 13 stone for some of them. He's got down to inside 12 for this. He had a couple of visits to the scales last night. I was watching, and a few ounces he had to rub off. Is he going to keep ducking all of those now? That's dangerous, propped on the ropes like that, Jim. He might try and use it as a bit of a catapult.
Little smile coming from Ben during that little slipping and sliding routine. You see, he's taken too many chances. Gent is a little bit more controlled in his defence and in his movements. Ben, very open, a little bit reckless.
Minute to go in the second. Well, he likes, as Ben puts it, a tear up, and he's certainly getting it. That was why I was surprised that some people were writing off Lou Gent before this fight. All right, we know he'd been beaten. As I say, he's lost 8 fights. And usually against the top class, and he did seem as though he was out of his class, but these opening rounds, well, he's in with a good shot. Is it going to be another year of the underdog? We've already had that on ITV with Steve Robinson winning as a substitute. Friendly touch by the gladiator there. As I said, there's a bit of mutual respect there. Let's have a look at that in replay, when he's propped on the ropes there, Jim.
Well, he lost his way a little bit, but he coped with it very well. He ducked and dived, slipped and slid under the punches. They were glancing off his chin the first couple, and he didn't really take too much after that. He did well to keep himself out of trouble. A little smile appeared round about now. Here it comes. He knows where he is. None of these punches really landed with any force, got himself out of trouble, but really taking chances.
And there's Ben's corner. Back there is Jimmy Tibbs, former boxer. Peter De Freitas is manager-agent on the outside, and Dean Powell from the Thomas Becker to Jim on the outside. I think he's enjoying it, Ben, nonetheless, Jim. He's taken a few shots too many.
Well, this is the kind of fight Ben enjoys. He doesn't like to go looking for people. He likes to stand and have a go. And Gent's certainly obliging.
Into round 3.
Gent's boxing well defensively. He's keeping his elbows in, trying to keep some control about. Maybe he plans his assaults coming later on in the fight. Oh, good shot.
Oh, right out of the blue, that one. Short, sharp. Is it complete? Harry O'Connor's got to make up his mind now. He's having a good look at him. No, he's giving him another chance.
Well, Gent's been on the floor at Reg and come back with good performances. We'll see if he can do it here. That was a good shot.
The odds might be against him here, though, Jim. That was a good punch. The way when they hit the deck like that, they're hurt.
We'll see what kind of strength he has in his own punches. His eyes look clear, yep, he looks all right, Reg.
Yeah, he does.
His own punches are strong. He's recovered.
Right above us here in the commentary position. Well, they said it was going to be a bang-up, and it is.
Well, Gent had to come back with something decent, and he's done that.
See, the WBC say that a knockdown you should have a 2-point advantage, and yet Gent's finding his way back in this round. This is some comeback, Jim. Now, can it happen again, though? That's the thing. Like that.
See, this is a bench so dangerous.
I thought it, matey. He unloaded them perfectly there, Ben. The left hook, the right hand. You can't keep climbing off the canvas. The 3 knockdown rule is not in effect, actually, in the same round, so it needn't necessarily be all over if he goes down again. It's up to the referee, then, Larry O'Connor.
This is where Ben should be stepping back, giving himself some punching room. You can see Gent's legs this time, Reg. He's not coming back with the same strength. That one knocked a bit of fight out.
No, they're untrustworthy now, aren't they? Oh, he's hurt Ben with that crack. They're swapping blows there. This is a real macho job, isn't it? They might as well tear the rule book up here. What a comeback. Behind us, Jim, they're on their feet, Gent's family now, waving him on, the whole lot of them.
Well, if Gent can come back after this, it's quite possible to break Ben's heart. Ben looks supremely confident after the second knockdown. He thought the job was finished, now he knows different. Still a big round for Ben with 2 knockdowns.
You know, it's going to count over him, you see. As I said, it doesn't count the 3 knockdowns here. Normally that would be all over. And the bell, what a good time for the bell to come. It was almost as if Gent knew that was the end of the round. Well, the lethal weapon was misfired a couple of times there, but on sheer heart and bravery. Let's see the first knockdown from the overhead camera.
2 knockdowns and 3 knockdowns, 2 coming from left hooks. That was the first knockdown from the left hook. A right hand followed by the left hook. The left hook did the damage. He looks for dead here, Reg, but great powers the recovery. He comes back and actually was throwing better punches than Ben after the first knockdown. The second knockdown seemed to take a bit more out of Gent. Back he comes, I believe. See, that's that left hook again, which caused by the right hand that scored the knockdown. But I think Ben's going to find that the left hook is the punch. The left hook is the punch that's doing the damage for Ben. If he is tumbled that, he'll probably go on throwing that in the next round.
And there, of course, was another knockdown after that, but we'll be back for the action instead in the 4th round.
Well, Reg, I think if anybody was questioning Ben's chin, they have to ask some more questions, because they took some tremendous punches from Gent, who's not a big one-punch hitter, but those were good shots. Took them well, and Gent was the one who went over. Down again.
Yeah, well, O'Connor won't stand for this much longer now. He's talking to him, he's saying okay, he doesn't want to stop it prematurely. Obviously, he's got to give the fella every chance.
He's not coming back with anything, Reg.
No, he's not throwing punches.
And that wasn't it, no, he's going
it's
down.
all over in the 4th round. O'Connell called that just right there. He gave Lou Gent as much opportunity as he could. But this fella really meant it now. He's certainly in a good mood there, wasn't he, Ben? He didn't mind taking punches to get punches. A couple of his favourite supporters there, I know, in the ring, Ben. He was really looking for this. He seemed a bit downhearted, I thought, at the weigh-in yesterday, for him anyway. But he sparked when that first bell went. And now he's setting his sights on the big payday with Chris Eubank. And, well, there's talk maybe of Old Trafford at Manchester in October. But there's always a few things to iron out, as they say. But I would think that's time that it went on. Now, there's a really good shot, isn't it? They're just... Ben saying, listen, mate, I know what it's like. I've lost a couple. I lost to Michael Watson. I lost to Chris Eubank. They're the only 2 fights I've lost in my career. What a sporting touch. They started off with mutual respect, and they're going out with mutual respect. And so certainly Lou Gent can go out carrying his shield still.
I think Ben really punched the fight out of Gent, Reg, because the last 2 knockdowns, they weren't really knockout punches that put Gent over. I think Ben had broken his heart. He'd pulled himself up 3 times in the previous round. I think he just had the fight punched out of him. Full credit to Gent. A great show of bravery, but the actual final round, I just think he had nothing left to offer.
Yeah, the doctor there, that's Dr. Mohammed, and that's Ben's dad, Dixon. That's a Ford motor worker.
35 seconds in round 4. The referee has stopped the contest.
And there's the official.
Still the WBC, the middleweight champion of the world, Nigel Benn.
Well, that's it. He loves the plaudits of the crowd. He's a bit of a ham at heart there. There he is, milking the applause, and well, he feeds off it, doesn't he? And I can't say that I blame him.
And ladies and gentlemen, this must have been one of the toughest contests we've seen for many a year. Your appreciation, please.
Well, we hope we can get a few words from Ben. So time for a break, and then back, hopefully, for the interview.
Well, we promised you a good old-fashioned tear-up, didn't we? And that's really what we had here tonight. Tremendous fight. Lou Gent, what a brave fella. He's talking now to Gary Newborn.
Gent, we just cleared the doctor. Lou?
Yes.
In the end,
Fine.
we're just checking whether you've been checked by the doctor, but apparently you have, so you've made a very quick recovery. First of all, I mean, you weren't short on guts.
No, well, it was... I mean, the punches he caught me with, it was more like flash knockdowns. I was down every time I was up, I perfectly knew what I was doing. I'm a very slow starter, and unfortunately, Nigel kept beating me to the punch. He was getting his shots off a bit quicker than mine, therefore catching me. What more can I say, you know?
Well, you could say, really, Lou, although it was a brave effort, you weren't in Nigel Benn's class, really. It was too big a step up for you.
Well, I don't know if you're saying weren't in his class. I mean, I fought the same class as Nigel Benn in heavier weights. You know, I think that's a bit unfair. I think that is a bit unfair.
Okay, well, let's just have a look at some of the action then. What do you remember of this?
Well, see, I don't remember a lot of the shots because they was a lot quicker. He was catching me. I mean, there I was hitting him well. You see where I'm a slow starter, it just wasn't there for the first 3 rounds.
Okay, thank you very much, Lou.
Well, of course, we're hoping to get a word with Nigel Benn shortly. That belt stays with Nigel Benn, and next time we'll see him will be with that big fight with Chris Eubank in the autumn. We're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back. We're going to stick with the action here for a moment, because I think Nigel Benn might be with Gary Newborn very shortly. But I tell you, that 3rd round that we saw here must go down as one of the rounds of the year. I mean, Lou Gent looked finished a couple of times. How he got up from those Nigel Benn bombs, I'll never know. And certainly Lou Gent, when he looks back on his career and he looks back on this night here tonight, he will say, well, I gave it my best shot. But Nigel Benn was just too good. He's talking now to Gary.
Well, there's the belt, and you retain the championship. And although he did give of his best, Lou Gent, a tremendously brave performance. He wasn't in your class, was he?
Well, he was in my class. It's just like, for the first time, I would actually say I felt so relaxed. Even everyone read what they read in the papers about me and my wife. You know, it's a lot of pressure, but this time I felt so relaxed, felt so good, felt confident. You know, everyone was writing off Lou Gent. You know, he went 12 rounds with Henry Wharton at a split decision, and like, you know, I thought we drew with a #1 contender, and like, I just felt so good.
I tell you what, you're always, you're not very comfortable with the belt which is being taken off, or something down. I don't know. We won't look down there. Nigel, the thing about you is you're always involved in very exciting fights. We're going to show you the first knockdown now, because this is vintage Nigel Benn. This is why the crowds come to see you.
Yeah, well, you know, I knew Lou.
It's the first knockdown, the last round. This is.
Yeah, I knew Lou was going to protect her. I knew that he was going to come out there and fight with me, and so I thought to myself, well, if he's going to have a war with me, I thought to myself, well, it's wrong. I mean, it's because this is the first time that I've got my strength back now. Since when I first fought Galvano and Nicky Pipe, I didn't have my strength. I started doing my weights because I had a bad shoulder, a trapped nerve. Not making that an excuse, but you know, I felt so strong, felt confident, felt good.
Well, we're going to show the end of the fight now, because you know, I don't want to stress the fact you're too much. You're exciting, but that you really are. You know, this is what people want to see in fights.
Yeah, well, you know, there's one thing with me. I love pleasing the British public. I like giving them what they want. They like to see X-rated violence. If people don't like it, then turn over to BBC. But you know, I like to go out there and give the British public what they see. Even I might get put on my ass. I might get put me behind.
Don't get me into trouble either with this one. Let's move into Ronnie Davis, because the fight looks as if it's going to be on. Eubank against Benn, and I want to bring Eubank. By the way, is on holiday in America. Probably watched it on the American network. Let's move the camera away. Oh, you got it out. What was it, very quickly?
What it was an old lady, 79, in Tenerife, named Jill Wilmont. She was about 76 years old. I think she collapsed in that, and she wrote me a letter and wishing me all the best. And so I thought to myself, I'll keep it on me. She said, keep this with you for good luck. And thanks a lot, Jean Wilmot.
Well done. Well, listen, we'll just move past Peter De Freitas, who's got that now. I'll move on to Ronnie Davis, Eubank's... Stay here, Nigel, because I'd need a comment from you. Eubank's trainer. Eubank is on holiday in America. This fight looks like being on now. Now, what you've seen from Nigel Benn, does that worry you from Eubank's point of view?
Well, no, Eubank's worrying about nothing. I mean, I thought Nigel boxed brilliantly. The other kid was no mug. Good performance. We won't worry about nothing, you know. No disrespect to Nigel. He was a great fighter. It'll be a great fight.
The thing is, though, Nigel, I've got to ask you this. It is going to be a great fight, and we're all looking forward to it. But exciting as you are you big enough at the super middleweight level to hold the power of Eubank once he gets going, once he wakes up?
No, once I wake up. Last time he prepared for me. I never really prepared for him, you know. I thought, you know, the thing about it, he prepared for me, and you know, I take my hat off to him. But this time now, I will prepare for him. How can you say that? Lou Gent's been in with all them big cruiserweights. Most of them only stopped him on cut eyes. I went out there and give it to him, and give it to him good.
Nigel, exciting fight. Thank you very much for the action.
Thank you. See you later, Ron.
Gary Newborn throwing the punches for us at ringside. When you rejoin us, we're going to have a look at that third round, that brilliant third round in its entirety. See you in a couple of minutes for that. Welcome back to Olympia. Nigel Benn still very much the WBC 12-stone champion. Jim Watt has joined me upstairs here. Jim, put that performance in perspective for us, could you?
Well, I think it's a very satisfying night's work for Nigel Benn. A few people were asking questions. Was in the right frame of mind? Did he have the power at super middleweight? Did he have a glass chin? I think he's proved everything tonight. It was a tremendous battle right from the off against a big super middleweight. I
think, Jim, the third round, and we're going to have a look at it now, will go down not only as one of the rounds of the year, but one of the best rounds we've seen, and it's coming up for us here now. And
this is the kind of fight Benn enjoys. He doesn't like to go looking for people. He likes to stand and have a go, and Gent's certainly obliging.
Into round 3.
Gent's boxing well defensively. He's keeping his elbows in, trying to keep some control about. Maybe he plans his assaults coming later on in the fight. Oh, good shot.
Oh, right out of the blue, that one. Short, sharp. Is it complete? Harry O'Connor's got to make up his mind now. He's having a good look at him. No, he's giving him another chance.
Well, Gent's been on the floor, Fred, and come back with good performances. We'll see if he can do it here. That was a good shot.
The odds might be against him here, though, Jim. That was a good punch. The way when they hit the deck like that, they're hurt.
We'll see what kind of strength he has in his own punches. His eyes look clear, yet he looks all right, Reg.
Yeah, he does.
His own punches are strong, he's recovered.
Right above us here in the commentary position. Well, they said it was going to be a bang-up, and it is.
Well, Gent had to come back with something decent, and he's done that.
See, the WBC say that a knockdown you should have a 2-point advantage, and yet Gent's finding his way back in this round. This is some comeback, Jim. Now, can it happen again, though? That's the thing. Like that.
See, this is a bench so dangerous.
I thought it, matey. He unloaded them perfectly there, Ben. The left hook, the right hand. You can't keep climbing off the canvas. The 3 knockdown rule is not in effect actually in the same round, so it needn't necessarily be all over if he goes down again. It's up to the referee then, Larry O'Connell.
This is where Ben should be stepping back, giving himself some punching room. You can see Gent's legs this time, Reg. He's not coming back with the same strength. That one knocked a bit of fight out.
No, they're untrustworthy now, aren't they? Oh, he's hurt Ben with that crack. They're swapping blows there. This is a real macho job, isn't it? They might as well tear the rule book up here. What a comeback. Family behind us, Jim, they're on their feet, Gent's family now, waving him on, the whole lot of them.
Well, if Gent can get back after this, it's quite possible to break Ben's heart. Ben looks supremely confident after the second knockdown. He thought the job was finished. Now he knows different. Still a big round for Ben with 2 knockdowns.
Oh. You know, it's going to count over him, he says. I said it doesn't count the 3 knockdowns here. Normally that would be all over.
Takes your breath away, that one.
Even by Nigel Benn's own standards, that was one terrific round, and that is obviously where the damage was done. I think he'll be delighted that the knockdowns were caused by single punches. He didn't grind them onto the floor. Single punches knocked a big super middleweight over. The third knockdown happened too late in the round. We didn't get a chance to see what Gent had left, but as soon as the next round started, we saw he had nothing left. Ben had completely punched the fight out of him. A tremendous performance by Ben.
Do you reckon, Jim, that those two really enjoyed that action?
Well, I know Ben enjoyed it. I'll have to ask Lou for a second opinion. I know Nigel enjoyed it. See, he loves that kind of fight. His last 2 opponents, Nicky Piper and Galvano, didn't give him the chance to be so explosive. But talking about the Ben Eubank fight, we needed a big performance. Eubank hasn't produced it. Nigel Benn's produced it tonight, so that'll get the fight back on the rails again.
Finally, Jim, in a word, Ben or Eubank?
I just think Eubank's the wrong kind of opponent for Ben. My heart goes with Ben because he's a fighter, but wrong opponent. Difficult.
Thanks as always, Jim. Well, I've got time to tell you about some more.